You joining us today. Moving on, the online gaming industry was in the headlines all of 2023 for taxation and regulatory crackdown. In the new year, the sector promises brighter opportunities in terms of employment, real money gaming and Web3. However, addressing regulatory issues, promoting responsible gaming practices and fostering a vibrant domestic game development scene will be crucial for the sector to reach its full potential. To discuss this and more, joining me now are Nitish Mittersain, Joint MD and CEO Nazara Technologies, Manish Agarwal, the founder of Kratos Studios, and Jay Sayta, the lawyer of technology and gaming. Gentlemen, welcome to Startup Street. Like I said, first of all, wish you all a very happy new year. And there's been a lot of negative news in terms of taxation and regulation for the sector. But lately, we should start with the opportunities first. Nitish, coming to you first. Make in India is a big opportunity. If you could talk to us about the kind of employment the online gaming industry will provide, and how can India become the gaming nation of the world?
Sure. Firstly, wishing you a very happy new year and all my friends on the panel. So I think, we have been kind of pursuing this whole gaming opportunity in India from a Nazara perspective for the last 2 decades. And the way the macro factors like the number of cell phone users, the speed of data, the cost of data, digital payments ecosystem is really opening up a very large gaming market in India. And I think it is imperative for us as a country that has, such great development capabilities to make sure that we are developing fantastic games for our home market versus being dependent, only on global games and global developers who will come and service our players at our market. So I think Make in India for India is not only a large opportunity, but also a very important opportunity for Indian developers to capture. And or something we as Nazara are focusing a lot on, and also very hopeful that the government and other stakeholders, really focus on this aspect. I think the second important point is, can Indian developers, build for the world? And in recent examples, we have seen in the recent years that Indian developers are actually able to compete globally and, do very well. So I think Make in India as an export opportunity to bring in forex for the country is also a big opportunity that we should really be focusing on. And the third thing is Make in India from a services, right? I think we can do a lot of service work, development work for global game developers and giants outside. So all these aspects, if you were to consider, I think gaming for India is, multi-year, next decade, India can be really the gaming nation of the world. And we all need to really push aggressively towards that.
All right, picking up from what Nitish just said, and Manish, coming to you now, what kind of opportunities do you see for Indian game developers building for the globe? Do you see India becoming a developer hub like Turkey? And if yes, then how soon?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me here and wishing everybody Happy New Year. Good to see Jay and Nitish. I truly believe that, just picking up from what Nitish said, we have the talent, we have the capability, we have the domestic market. And not only that, we have now, last 10 years, the generation which has been really playing games on mobile. So we have that innate, intuitive ability to understand what needs to be done to make a great game. And I think examples within our Nazara portfolio of Kidopia doing great games from India. There are other studios which have done very, very well. And I think the more amount of investment comes, more amount of M&A activities happen, that will spur investment into great teams which are building in India for the globe. And that's what happened in Turkey in 2014 with the exit of P Games. Many offshoots came in, and today Turkey is the most fertile ground for outstanding global studios. And I think that's what is going to happen in India too.
Okay, all right. Nitish, coming back to you, and I want to focus now on some of the new gaming trends like Web3, VR and AI. If you could tell us what's happening here, and if you could elaborate on the huge potential.
Sure. One great thing about gaming is that, technology is always changing. It keeps us on our toes, but it's also extremely exciting. At this point of time, like you rightly said, Web3 is a very interesting space to operate in. We've seen a few hype and buzz cycles in that segment, as it happens in all new technologies. But I think smart asset ownership for gamers where they can actually own the digital assets, right, that they are purchasing in the games. The time and effort that they are spending in the games can be converted into some kind of monetization. I think a lot of these can be enabled by Web3. And I do believe that in the years to come, it will become a very important
Okay.
driving Web3 world. I think the other technology I'm personally very excited about is virtual reality. At Nazara, we have been looking at this for nearly a decade. It's taken much longer to kind of emerge as a viable platform. But now with three major companies, global players, right? Meta, Sony, and Apple competing on that, the tech is moving very fast. The experience is already fantastic. And I think in the next 2, 3 years, you will see virtual reality, gaming to
Okay.
the head coming fantastic. And the last, I think, thing that I'm at least very excited about is the generative AI and how AI is kind of infusing how games are made, how users are engaged, how smart
Yes.
AI characters can engage with users. A lot can be done over there, right? If you were to put all of these technologies together, I think Web3 into VR, into I think the next 3 years will completely transform
Okay.
game today. And that's what we are very excited at Nazara today.
Sure. All right. Before I bring in Jay, Manish, very quickly, if you could answer, we've got over 450 Web3 startups in India, and the Indian Web3 industry is expected to grow by $1.1 billion by 2032. Ironically, funding into Web3 startups is down 82% year over year since 2020, and 2023 being the lowest. So what is the reason for this?
I think a lot of tourists, both builders and investors, have fled, and which is a very good thing for people who want to really build something solid for next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And I think that's what has really happened, and which is a really great sign that we will have solid companies coming out of India. And that's what at Kratos we are really building a global gaming distribution platform.
Okay.
To truly disrupt the current ecosystem.
Sure. Jay, coming to you now. Rules issued by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology to regulate online gaming and setting up of self-regulatory bodies to oversee the sector is a positive for the sector. What the sector is fighting for is over-taxation. How are you planning to navigate that? What conversations are you having with the GST Council?
Thanks, Shruti. Wishing you and all the viewers a very happy New Year. Firstly, as you rightly said, 2023 the headlines was all about GST for the gaming sector and how the 28% would kind of be a killer or a killer blow or a spoiler to the mood. But from 1st October, all the law is enforced that there is 28% on deposits, which all the online real money gaming companies have to pay. And the gaming companies have complied with that. For the last quarter, they have paid 28% on every deposit made by a customer into the wallet. Of course, when the GST Council had taken that decision, they had also indicated that they have an open mind that within 6 months from implementation, they would take a relook at this whole thing, the taxation structure, and if needed, they are very open to changes or changing the structure. So, right now there is no conversation as such that is going on, but in the next quarter, certainly there would be a discussion whenever there is a GST Council meeting, and GST Council and the Finance Ministry would be looking at the numbers, would be certainly cognizant of the troubles that the gaming companies have faced with this new taxation.
All right.
Several startups have, also shut shop or, massively downscaled. So all these issues, we are quite hopeful the GST Council will take cognizance and come up with something with some changes which would be better for the industry.
All right. One final question. The union budget is around the corner. What is the big ask from the sector? Nitish and Manish, if you could quickly answer in 10 seconds. Nitish, why don't you go first?
Sure. I think if the government can consider setting up a special economic zone for game development and provide a variety of incentives to really drive what we discussed earlier in terms of, the Make in India for India and Make in India for the world, I think that would be fantastic. I also think it's very important for the government to provide all clarity on all aspects so that, a very strong foundation can be laid on top of which we can build, fantastic businesses. The unclarity in RMG, as
Okay.
you've seen, has created a lot of confusion and pain in the last year.
Absolutely. Manish, do you agree with Nitish? In 10 seconds, can you tell us your big ask?
My is just two very simple: creating frameworks for global capability centers in India. Second, invest in skilling of talent through education policy
All
in
right.
gaming.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But gentlemen, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street. It was a pleasure talking to all three of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.